ACE Intel, decoding the leadership taboo. Your next mission? Leadership. Fix the chaos and unlock the genius. Starting now. In episode 2, we began with the topic of control addiction and how this taboo impacts some of the most common problems leaders all over the world struggle with. Today, we dive into the first of them, delegation. I promised myself I won't give any lists or to-do steps in this podcast, so I wrote an article where I walk you through the 7 steps of successful delegation to walk you through it there. For our purposes, let me quickly recap the 7 steps. 1. Pick the right task. 2. Choose the right person. 3. Define the why. 4. Set clear expectations. 5. Give ownership, not just tasks. 6. Provide resources and decision-making authority. And step 7. Let go. In today's conversation, I want to focus on 2 hardest to understand and apply steps, in my opinion, which are 5 and 6, giving ownership and decision-making authority. I believe the hardship lies in the transition. How do we go from doer to enabler? Let's dive in. In the previous episode, we already introduced this idea that when you become a leader, you change from doer to enabler. And this is a transition no one really teaches you about or even talks about, I think. It's not a hard task physically, but emotionally it can be a challenge. Delegating can easily feel like a loss of power. And it could make us feel irrelevant because we have nothing to do. But this is wrong thinking. Delegating is giving you space to focus on the higher level tasks, which you never get around to because of the firefighting, the on-the-ground problems. Delegating is also a fantastic tool to not only help your team grow, improve morale, motivation, and productivity, but also to help you see how your team members think, how they approach problems, and how they trust you. That way, delegation becomes not only a way to free up your space and time, but also a leadership diagnostic tool. Delegation feels like losing control only if you look at it from up close. When you change the lens into the big picture, the leader's vision, it becomes a way to catapult you from the bottleneck to the leader of the best performing team in a whole company. When instead of hoarding decisions and becoming the point that's stifling business growth, burning yourself out and others in this process, trying to keep the control addiction intact, when instead you enable your team to become the owners, you multiply your abilities and reach. It doesn't make you obsolete. Not delegating is making you stifled, falsely giving you the feeling of control and security. But what if someone becomes so good they take my job? I know many of you may think this way, but this is such a limiting view. If you train people to think like you, not just report to you, and they become so good they could take over your job, this is just a confirmation of how good you are as a leader and teacher to enable them to reach this level. And it's good news. Keeping other people's potential low to not feel threatened is ego problem. And here lies the paradox. Leaders who protect their position but by stifling others' growth already lost it and don't even realize it. When you build a person where they could act as a leader, it's only a proof you are indispensable. That you are able to build the team up so well, they become the engine of the whole company. Weak leaders create dependency, great leaders create continuity. They bring clarity, they develop people and systems, they literally make business grow. And the right people know that. It may seem like invisible work a lot of times because it's so personal and fluid. But those results don't lie. And the better leader you are, the more developed and enabled your team, the more indispensable you can become. Your authority can't be taken away from you, but your position can. Thinking they may replace me is a scarcity mindset. Leadership is about growth, expansion, compounding. The more you develop your team, your systems, the more ownership they have, the less you are needed, the more valuable you become as the leader. If your absence causes chaos, that's not proof of importance, that's proof of poor systems. Sustainable leadership means your team can run smoothly without you. And when you reach that level, you're finally free to lead new initiatives, shape bigger strategies, build new ventures, or even move into mentorship, board roles, or consulting. The greatest job security comes not from holding on tightly, but from being the kind of the kind of person organizations can't afford to lose. But using delegation as the diagnostic tool and tool to empower and grow your talent is one part. Another is how valuable it is for the bottom line. Because when you transfer the ownership, you not only free yourself, you elevate morale, mastery, and meaning for the team. And when people go from "I'm just completing the tasks" to "I own this," shift happens. They become more engaged, they start anticipating, not waiting, they problem solve before asking, they take pride in performance because it's theirs. Ownership is the antidote to burnout, other than having too much work, of course. When people understand how their work fits into the bigger story, they stop chasing approval and start chasing impact. They feel seen, trusted, and significant. And why should you care? Well, for one, it's your job as a leader to take care of your people. But two, and the point of this point, ownership doesn't just improve morale, it compounds results. Because people who feel responsible solve faster, waste less, communicate better, and stay longer in a company. And those gains may not show up overnight, but 6 months later, you will see them in lower turnover, faster delivery, and better client outcomes. And that is visible in the bottom line. So transferring ownership doesn't make you less. It's your superpower, taking you from average to indispensable while empowering your team and improving results. But how should you do it? The good thing is that it's easy now. We have already covered 2 out of 3 points when we described step 4. To transfer the ownership, setting clear expectations is a must. Well, actually, setting expectations is a skill that is important in every single aspect for every single person, in my opinion. But that not only means this is the task, do it by then. And then being mad they didn't meet your idea of what it should look like. After you give the context, or the why it matters, you need to provide them with details, including what does the successful outcome look like. Be specific here. What is a high quality report to you may be different to them. And what is useful here is to include the fixed elements, meaning the things that must be there. Say, here's what's not flexible. It could be deadlines, budget, brand tone, etc. And while setting expectations, also include the checkpoints, which is point 2. And here is an important note. Focus on the milestones, not the daily updates or just checking where you are. Unless they are behind with the schedule or communication, this is not necessary. Focus on specific steps of the process. That way, they can deliver the outcome in a way that is satisfactory to you, but owned by them. You are saying, I am not giving you a task. I'm trusting you to drive an outcome. How you get there is yours to shape, as long as these conditions are met. And the third and last point of how to transfer the ownership is to shift from assigning to co-designing. Instead of saying, here's what you need to do, bring in the person at the planning stage, where applicable, obviously. When they take part in planning, it changes the psychology from I'm just doing the task to, oh, I co-design and own this. This does three things. One, builds their psychological buy-in because they co-created the plan. Two, lets you test their understanding and confidence. And three, surfaces risks early without micromanaging later. So, say, here's the outcome you need. How would you approach it? You are giving them a space to grow in a simple but powerful way. And this step, I highly encourage you to do that, because I have also been on the receiving end of it, and it's such a simple thing that doesn't even register with you when you are doing it, but it does actually help you not only learn but to understand and feel like you own the process, and it does do all of those things that I just mentioned. So highly recommend that. But okay, by now we covered the transfer of ownership. We know why it's important and how to do it. So now let us cover the next beast. Giving decision-making power. It goes hand in hand with the ownership and is unquestionable part of successful delegation. So let's understand it better. And what better place to start than to dig into the paradox of power that fuels the control action. So, at first glance, power looks like control, right? The ability to decide, approve, and veto. But that's management power, not leadership power. Leadership power is about creating clarity, confidence, and autonomy, so others can decide well without you. Remember, the role of the leader is to enable, is to lead your talented team towards one direction. Just like in an orchestra, the conductor doesn't fear that the violin 4 will become so good they will overtake them. Violin has her job, conductor has her own, which is focusing on directing all these talented people into one cohesive whole. Similarly, when leader gives power to their team, they are not losing it, because it amplifies. Having talented people becoming better and able to continue even if you are not in the room, that's not the problem. That is the true leader's power. And let's call it what it is. You aren't afraid to give the decision-making power because you are also worried that they will make a mistake. You don't want to question yourself. The fear is that they will do it differently, maybe even much better, and that difference will make you question your identity. But when leadership is tied to ego, I'm the one who knows best, this difference feels like defiance. But when it's tied to growth, I'm the one who helps others think better, that difference becomes data, feedback, evolution, intelligence. And the great leader always grows, always learns, and is not the smartest person in the room. Or at least, that is not the goal. Now, if I didn't trigger you to click off yet, let's figure out a way to transfer decision-making power with delegation without making it feel like you are losing yourself. And again, 3 steps. Step 1, define the boundaries. You can start small and build it up with time. Simply decide and agree on what is not questionable, values, principles, deal breakers, and what is flexible, could be methods, orders, style. So the non-questionable things are more about standards than steps. They usually include core values, mission focus, ethical lines, brand tone, financial or legal thresholds, and strategic direction. So, for example, we are positioning for long-term retention, not one-off sales. And you can phrase them as, you can decide how we achieve it, but not whether we do. You can adjust the path, not the purpose. We don't compromise on integrity, quality, or safety. Everything else is open for iteration. And the flexible elements can be the method of execution, the way of communication, the way of prioritizing and balancing tasks, or even who to involve. You can phrase it as, you own the how, I will own the why. You decide the approach as long as it fits within our principles and target outcomes. And remember, everything will depend on the type of task and the person you delegate to. If you make everything non-negotiable, people become robots. But if you make everything flexible, they can become reckless. So finding balance with clear boundaries makes it easier for you to still control the situation while giving them the ownership and power. Step 2. Define the decision level. There are 4 levels. Level 1, you decide. Level 2, you decide with their input. Level 3, they decide, but you review and approve. Level 4, they decide, you're informed. As you can guess, most leaders stay at level 1 forever. But great leaders move the team progressively toward level 4. And as with most things related to leadership, it will depend on the risk level and readiness and whether it's a new delegation or not. I mean, for budget or crisis, you will obviously stay at level 1 saying, I will decide this one, but watch how I analyze it. For setting team priorities, choosing tools, you can be the final deciding person, but have them walk you through the reasoning. Walk me through how you would approach it. If you want to try level 3, it could be for new hiring, campaign structure, or pricing plan. And you could say, you could recommend the options, I will sign off. So you are the final approver, but they get to propose and make decisions too. And at the final level 4, it could be something like client delivery method, scheduling, partner selection. I don't know. If it's within agreed boundaries, they get to decide, simply informing you. And if you are still apprehensive, you can run low-risk simulations, which is basically asking them scenarios. For example, imagine the client requests X. What would you do? It gives them the safe space to learn if there is a need and gives you peace of mind. Remember, they are learning this, so they make mistakes, and that is okay. And this is not a place for you to shame them for it by any means. They are not you, so they don't have your knowledge or experience. So when they make wrong decision, use it as the learning moment. Dissect it, figure out where it went wrong. And also remember to praise them when they make a good decision, because that's how you build people up. And step 3, define the feedback loop. So the idea here is to make a review about learning, not punishment. Asking what led you to that decision instead of why did you do it wrong changes everything. And also note that these checkpoints are not for approval, but for alignment. They are there to catch things before they go off the rails, or to correct before they have to redo the whole project, but still without stepping over the boundaries and taking back the power you gave them. These are not interrogations. They are about learning, seeing the progress, and helping them more than you. And at the end of this whole process, the corporate name Lessons Learned. And I actually really liked this part. It helps you to reflect on the process, see what could have been done better, what went well and should be kept. But most importantly, it helps you reflect on yourself and how you can become better the next time. It's really such an important part of any project or delegation, in my view. Well, it was a bit heavier than I expected it to be when I started, and I had way too many lists compared to what I wanted it to include, but I believe it's important to understand these 2 principles well, which are transferring ownership and decision-making power. Because when we understand not only what we fear or what fear they come from, but what they mask us, the control, we can begin to work on them. And I think this is why it's so important to talk about those uncomfortable taboo topics, because they feel bad, but only for a while. And solving them makes you feel and be great for the rest of your life. And I think it's very much worth it. Do you? With this, I leave you. Until next time.